Hello and thank you for joining us today. This is just for those who can and who want to do more. You have options in the description below. Pick the one that fits you best. May I always suggest the membership program because it is the most affordable way to support the channel. But understand that by you watching from start to finish, interacting with the video, liking, commenting, pushes my algorithm forward. So that also helps a ton. So no matter how you slice it, you are amazeballs. You know, every actions have consequences, and the consequences can be positive and they can be negative. I don't have to tell you that. It's a standard rule of life. But what I find to be super fascinating every single time, and it never fails, and I don't know why I get so shockingly, excitingly surprised when a criminal starts asking for mercy, especially when the crime goes beyond just, I don't know, a lie or petty theft. That I don't understand. It's almost like, well, I can't sit here trying to explain to you because I don't even understand myself. So let's dissect this sentencing of Bradley Yohn. But if you're new here, I'm Alistair Hanzekio, and this is just my point of view. Let's get started.
Yohn, you have the right to make a statement directly to the court telling me anything that you think I should know before I sentence you. Your statement in allocution is voluntary. You do not have to make a statement, but if you would like to make a statement, now would be the time to do so.
Your Honor, people in the stands, I did not hurt your mother, your grandmother. I did not do any of that. I wasn't part of that this night. I was not there. There's a lot more to this than y'all know. Your Honor, I'm not guilty for this at all.
The court has considered the pre-sentence investigation reports, the evidence presented at trial, the statement by Mr. Yohn, the arguments of counsel, as well as the statements and victim impact statements given today by family members.
If you look at Bradley Yohn, he had an opportunity here to address the judge, to make a statement. If you don't remember, he represented himself. And what he goes to directly is to confront the family face to face and essentially lie to them. It's a weird, demented way of inflicting more pain. Because he got up, he didn't even address the judge. There was no, that was pointless. It's not like he cares what they think. Because if he cared about what they think, he wouldn't have robbed the place. He wouldn't have home invaded the place. Forget the torture and the murder. If he cared about their opinion, he wouldn't have stepped foot into that woman's car.
All of the statutory and non-statutory factors in aggravation and mitigation, whether specifically mentioned or not, the history and character of the defendant, and having due regard for the seriousness of the offense and with the objective of restoring the defendant to useful citizenship, I find the following. As to factors in aggravation, certainly the conduct caused or threatened serious harm. The defendant did receive compensation in taking the items from the person, vehicle, and home of his victim. The defendant has an extensive history of prior delinquency and criminal activity, including not less than 12 misdemeanors, but more importantly, sentences to the various departments of corrections in Illinois and Missouri, including 3 years, 3 years, 3 years, 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 3 years, and 7 years. None of which curtailed Mr. Yohn from committing these offenses. The court finds that a sentence is necessary to deter others from committing the same crimes. Specifically finds the victim to have been 65 or 60 years or older, being 76, 77 years of age. I also note that according to the PSI, Mr. Yohn was on a pretrial release for a felony in St. Charles County, Missouri, 2111-CR-03413, an unlawful possession of firearm by a dangerous felon, a Class C felony in Missouri. Also, Marion County, Missouri, 21MR-CR-00188 for a charged second-degree burglary, which would be a Class 4 felony in Missouri.
What?
In reviewing the factors in mitigation, I am in agreement with the state's position. I find none that apply to Mr. Yohn. And again, the court is to consider the character of the offender. Mr. Yohn, in my practice of law and in all my years, you are the most reprehensible person I've had in court before me, as public defender, as state's attorney, and now as judge. You take no responsibility for crimes that you clearly committed and were proven beyond a reasonable doubt. I believe you're narcissistic and unable to appreciate that, because to admit that would be admitting a fault, and in your mind, you are perfect.
Ooh, I had no idea the judge was going to go that way. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with narcissists. They think they are perfect. But you know what the irony is? The irony is that deep down, they know they are flawed. They're highly insecure. There's a interesting point that I want you to look at. When the judge mentioned that the mitigation does not apply to him, I want you to look at his head tilt, almost as if he's like, really? Like surprised and shocked? Oh, what? Really? What? It's so funny. It's so funny. Again, these are small little cues that tell you a little bit what is going on in here. You know, these are all obviously educated guesses, but you can somewhat have a very good idea of where his mind is. And it's not remorse. It's not fear. It's pompousness. It's like it hasn't set in yet. It hasn't set in yet.
Well, sir, you're going to be perfect for 130 years in prison, because I'm adopting the state's recommendation. On count 1, home invasion for using a dangerous weapon during such, the maximum 30 years is imposed.
I didn't mean to cut you off so early. His breathing did increase. I'll press play again. It's probably going to stay elevated for a while. So if you can stare at his shirt or his neck, you can see his breathing has definitely increased. Yeah, he's stressed now. Look, he's not stressed before. He's stressed now. What an idiot.
I'm also finding that crime resulted in great bodily harm to the victim, meaning you'll serve it at 85%. Not 50%. That'll be followed by 18 months mandatory supervised release if you're ever released. Count 3, aggravated kidnapping, Class X felony. I'm imposing the maximum 30 years. Department of Corrections. That likewise will be at 85% for the same reason as previously stated, inflicting severe bodily injury. That will be consecutive to the sentence in count 1. Count 4, aggravated vehicular hijacking. Class X felony, 6 to 30 years. I'm imposing a 30-year sentence maximum, followed by 18 months mandatory supervised release, specifically finding that should be served at 85%. Again,
first, the judge laid down the hammer with such conviction that his mind was made up even before he entertained the spiel of the court, blah, 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 blah. And look, the judge even said, you suck. You suck as all of the above. You suck. The level of insult that judge gave to him before he came down with the hammer of 130 years must have made Bradley completely quiver with anger. Not fear, anger. Do you know why anger? Because as a narcissist, as an alleged narcissist, not me, him, as an alleged narcissist, he doesn't see himself as an idiot. He sees himself as like, I'm smart enough to handle this. But he also understands that he sucks. And so the fact that somebody else saw through him and exposed him, he is mad. Right now at this moment, I can guarantee you he's going through a lot of emotions. This is where he's like, oh crap, 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 oh crap. And I would expect his body language to change completely. I mean, he is slouched. And I would expect that, slouchier and pouty, grumpy, like giving up, sort of, kind of, in terms of decorum.
Again, because your actions resulted in great bodily harm to the victim.
Tina Lohman even said she wasn't hijacked
Sir, I
herself
will not speak.
in the video.
So that will be consecutive to counts 1 and 3. Count 5, maximum on the Class X aggravated criminal sexual assault. Range 16 to 40 years. I'm imposing the 40-year sentence. That will be followed by mandatory supervised release of 3 years to life, and that by statute will be mandatorily consecutive to the sentences imposed in counts 1, 3, and 4. Those should total the 130 years being imposed. By statute, I must advise that at 85%, you'll be serving a total minimum of 110 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections. Anything else regarding sentencing, Mr. Jones, prior to advising of appeal rights?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Nelson?
No.
Mr. Yohn, you do have the right to appeal. If you only want to appeal the judgment of conviction, not including the correctness of the sentence imposed or any aspect of the sentencing hearing, then within 30 days of today's date, you must file with the Circuit Clerk of Adams County a written notice of appeal or request that the Circuit Clerk prepare and file it on your behalf. However, if any part of what you want to appeal relates to the correctness of your sentence or any aspect of the sentencing hearing, then before you file a notice of appeal, you must file first, within 30 days of today's date, a written motion to reconsider sentence and/or challenging sentencing hearing. That likewise would be filed at the Adams County Circuit Clerk's office. Your motion must be in writing, must be filed with the Circuit Clerk of this court within 30 days of today, and must include all of the grounds or reasons for your motion, as any issue or claim of error or mistake not included would be waived for purposes of your appeal. If your motion is granted, the sentence may be modified or some other action may be taken to correct whatever the problem may be. If your motion is denied, okay. You good? All right. If your motion is denied, then you would have 30 days from the date the motion was denied to file with the Circuit Clerk of the court a written notice of appeal or to request that the Circuit Clerk prepare and file it on your behalf to start the process of going to the appellate court. If you cannot afford the assistance of an attorney for your motion or your appeal, an attorney will be appointed to represent you free of charge. If you cannot afford copies of the transcripts in your case for your motion or appeal, those likewise will be provided to you free of charge. Do you understand your right to appeal, Mr. Yohn?
Yes, sir.
Right. We will be in recess.
Your Honor, I have some things to take up with regards to the transcripts. I'm still waiting on pretrial transcripts that you said would come a long time ago.
Mr. Yohn, you're represented by counsel, and so he'll need to make all motions and arguments to the court if he chooses to do so.
Okay, as far as appeal, I'll represent myself on appeal at this time, so I'm going to need the transcripts. I mean, unless they're being manipulated like the last ones were, and they need time to do that.
Mr. Yohn, again, you're being represented by counsel at this time, and so he'll have to make all motions and arguments for you.
I need the transcripts.
I love how his counsel is not even bothered. His counsel is like, don't talk to me. What? His counsel doesn't give a crap. Uninterested. Oh, do you know what is going through his mind right now? He is doing backflip, cartwheel splits. He is twerking. He is doing handstand, booty shaking. He is just like screaming for attention. Nobody's giving attention. He's like, what do you mean I'm going to go to jail forever? Forever, ever? Yeah, forever. Forever, ever. Forever, ever? It's so funny. The counsel guy is just playing with his pen and papers. Sir, your client is acting a fool. Can you please whisper to him? Yeah. Oh, hi. So nice of you to be staring at me. Perfect. That means you like me. Great. So press like, and if you haven't done so, subscribe. That's it. Back to the show.
Mr. Jones, do we want to take up the 22 CF 713 and 720?
Judge, based on the court sentence today, I'll have an order prepared showing that those cases are dismissed.
All right.
That's what Judge McCartney.
I'm sorry, we're going to have to go back on the record also. Thank you for reminding me of that. Mr. Yohn, because 22 CF 671, you were sentenced to 7 years while you were awaiting trial in this matter. These sentences are also going to be consecutive to that sentence. So that'll be a total of 137 you'll be serving.
Yes! Put it all.
671, the one where y'all violated my rights?
Yes. Yes. Your rights were violated, idiot.
I
Yes.
don't need him back for any order of habeas corpus.
71671.
All right. So when you got the orders,
This is why you get a lawyer, stupids. This is why you get a lawyer. How are you going to sit there, represent yourself, and complain that you don't understand your rights are being violated? This is the stupidity I have with people who are stupid enough to think they can go ahead and try to handle the intricacy of a court system. Why do you think in the Constitution of the United States of America you're entitled to a lawyer? Because they know this thing is completely complicated. Even the smartest non-lawyer person can't handle that. You think you can? Idiots. Yeah, of course your rights were violated. I don't know if they did. Frankly, nobody cares. And frankly, because courts make mistakes. If nobody catches it, oh well. Whose fault is that? It's not the court's fault. They're too busy processing criminals. You're not special.
Yes, the orders are drafted, and we're providing those to Mr. Nelson.
Oh, nice hair. Look at that. Thick and gray.
thank you.
Nice silver lady. Love it. You can almost hear what they're mumbling. The microphone there are very sensitive. Oh my God. You know what he just said to his lawyer? Never mind, I'll do it myself. He said that to his lawyer. Look, the lawyer is so stoic and uninterested. Brady Yohn is insulting him. He's like, whatever, whatever, whatever. Best lawyer ever. They're arguing. They're arguing.
$723, Ms. Katz.
Yohn, on state's motion, 21 CF 713, 21 CF 723 are being dismissed. That order also will be provided to you. Anything else, Mr. Jones?
Nothing from the people on this case, Your Honor.
Mr. Nelson?
Nothing, thank you.
We adjourned in this case.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Recess. Be seated.
I'm not talking to you, sir.
Exactly. All right.
So what you just saw there is very typical. If you find yourself angering or revealing the true image of a narcissist, two things happens to you. The first one is not always the first solution they choose, but the first one is you get ghosted, depending on what type of narcissist you're facing. And the second option is you get assaulted. Verbally, physically, psychologically, emotionally, mentally, something happens to you. And that is the danger when you are dealing with a narcissist. And that's why it's so difficult sometimes to leave. But it's imperative that you escape. What he just did there, he was trying to intimidate the prosecutor, the female one. Because it's easy. It's easy for him. Male narcissists behave very different than women narcissists. But make no mistake, they still have the two options that they choose. They are violent, highly inconsiderate, and emotionally abusive. He's enchained. He's in chains. If he could, he would have jumped on that lawyer, assault her. And he's capable of sexual assault. He's done it many times. So most likely, he would have sexually assaulted her and probably killed her. That's how dangerous. That at that moment, that's what his brain was going towards. I don't have to say allege anything because his record shows just that. Educated guess? Sure. Sure.
How much you get paid, kid?
I leave Ms. Keck alone,
How much
Mr.
you
Yohn.
get paid?
I can tell you, I mean, I get paid the same regardless of whether you get a
What
prison
about
or
that
not.
big bonus for that family back there?
Yo.
No, I don't. So, whatever.
Higher courts.
And they'll get an order on Judge McCartney because he is not coming.
Okay.
Perfect.
So,
Thank you, guys.
Now, notice the difference of engagement when it came to the men. The first situation, the police officer, the bailiff, gets strong, spirit-wise, very strong, essence-wise, behind him. And what does he do? He looks back, looks up, and looks away. That's a coward. That's someone that is afraid. He turned around, looked up to assess the situation, and looked away because he doesn't want to confront a man. But he's aware of that, so that does not make him feel good. So what does he do? So he wants to prove to himself he can confront a man. So he confronts the other prosecutor, which is a male. How much you get paid? How much you get paid? How much you get paid? Yeah. And look, you could even tell the male prosecutor he's not that guy to just sit there and walk away. No, I walk away. I'm like, oh, bye. Yeah, I walk away. But he's in a suit and all, but you could tell he would pummel you if he could. But he didn't push as hard. He didn't push as hard. As you notice him look around the room, he's understanding that his next step, the next phase of his confinement is from this pseudo-freedom straight into a cage. And what does a narcissist hate the most? They hate to be forgotten. They hate to be ignored. They don't want to be locked away. He is pacing, so to speak, because he can't freely walk. He's antsy, anxious. He's looking around for anybody who would give him a sort of comfort. He's eyeballing anyone he can eyeball that will give him a reassurance of, hi, hey buddy. Like the stupid girl from earlier. I'll get to her in a little bit. And also, guys, pay attention. There's like 1,000 bailiff in that room. He's a dangerous man. He's dangerous. He's very dangerous. Let's talk about that woman.
There's another case.
We have another
with
case
Judge
with
McCartney.
Judge McCartney, so we got to take that out.
Can't manipulate evidence.
Who is this woman? I don't know. And it seemed as if she took a while to exit the room. Because at some moment, he turns back around right at the end here. He says, I'll call you. I'll call you. You know, maybe she's a victim of abuse herself. There's no woman, I don't know how to say this politely or nicely, but this is just my point of view, right? This is just my opinion. But I think everyone should demand or be exigent of their peers' behavior, at least at a very basic fundamental. I don't want you to be a murderer. I don't want you to be an abuser. I don't want you to be a squatter. I want you to pay your taxes. I don't want you, I expect that from people that I know. I expect that from my family. I expect that from my friends. I expect that from my acquaintances. I expect a lot. Now, on the surface, sure, it's basic. But if you think that when you go out there and you commit something stupid and I'm not paying attention as to who is around me, you're completely out of your mind and out of your league. And I tell you why, because there's a lot to lose. I have something to lose. I will not have a hardened criminal around my girls, my family. I don't care who you are. You could be my mom. Yes. She goes there and kills someone, honey, clip. All right? You have to be exigent. So when I sit there and I look at this lunatic of a woman sitting there supporting this lunatic of a man, okay, they can just go together over there in the garbage. Pointless, useless. Now you might ask yourself, oh, maybe it's the victim. Maybe it's the victim. No. I'll tell you why. He's going away for 1,000,000 years. This is your escape moment, victim. No, she's not a victim. She's certainly not a victim. She's just a random groupie. Baby. Or maybe it's the parent. Maybe it's the mom. Which, matter of fact, isn't the father a criminal? The brother? Are they all criminals? All right, look at that. Look at me requesting higher standard for criminals. No. Goodbye. Before we get to the final thought, I want to play this for you, because that's going to be significant as to what I want to tell you.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Bradley Yohn, guilty of home invasion with a dangerous weapon. We, the jury, find the defendant, Bradley Yohn, guilty of home invasion, criminal sexual assault. We, the jury, find the defendant, Bradley Yohn, guilty of aggravated kidnapping. We, the jury, find the defendant, Bradley Yohn, guilty of aggravated vehicular hijacking. We, the jury, find the defendant, Bradley Yohn, guilty of aggravated criminal sexual assault. We, the jury, find the defendant, Bradley Yohn, guilty of residential burglary.
Anything for you at this time, Mr. Yohn?
No, Your Honor. No, I'm at a loss.
All right,
I wanted to play that to you because in the court of law, their strategy does not work. The law is very methodological. It's very matter of fact. And these people operate the opposite of matter of fact. It's about what's their alternative facts are. Another thing also that's extremely dangerous with narcissists is that they lie. but they enchant you with sweet nothings. You might think to yourself that, oh, please, not me. I'm a seasoned broad. Not me. I'm a veteran. Not me. I'm too smart for that. No. The reason why this works is because naturally, most people are sympathetic and empathetic. Most people are vulnerable to someone that is nice and sweet. And also, it takes a lot of extra energy to ask yourself questions. If someone tells me, look, I made you a bread, thanks. I'm not going to sit there and dissect what did you buy the flour, what flour did you get. It's just too much work. And that's the same analogy. And so what Bradley Yohn did there, shaking of his head, was that he was so accustomed to telling sweet nothing stories. Hello, good morning. Hi. Being nice and sweet to disarm people and then spin a story that will benefit him. It doesn't work here. That's why he's in shock. And you might ask yourself, but wait a minute, he's on handcuff in the court of law. They don't see it like that. Because to them, they do nothing wrong. They are perfect. So if I am perfect, why should I reconsider my plan of action? That's the flaw of a narcissist, is that they believe they're so insecure, they create this persona, they create this idea of themselves that is so grandiose to hide their insecurity, but in the process, they believe their own shit, that they're not capable of double-checking, revisiting, because to them, they are incapable of making a mistake. And so here is my final thought. Everyone makes mistakes. If you expect someone to not make a mistake, you're a fool. If you expect someone not to offend you, you're a fool. If you expect someone to be perfect, you are a fool. If someone tells you they've done nothing wrong, if someone answers a question of what have you done wrong and the answer is nothing, as I'm getting older, my perception of things is so different. Yes, my tax dollars. What are you doing? This is someone with a rap sheet that was in prison for over a decade. He spent over a decade in prison. Why do you keep letting him out? What is up with this bail being $500, $1,000? Are you out of your mind? This is a dangerous criminal. What are you doing letting someone like that out? This is, I don't understand. I don't understand. We pay so much in taxes. I don't understand. I don't understand if you have a first offender, second offender, third offender, fourth offender, fifth offender, seventh offender, eighth offender. Enough with these second chances. Enough with these second chances. Enough. Because you know what? I am not willing to risk my life, my family's life, my friend's life on some idiot like that. This is what... This is the area where I don't know. It's stuff like that makes me so mad, because this could have been avoided if someone was a little bit more a Scrooge like me. Hell, hire me. I'll do the job for 50% off. What do you need me to do? Deny? Okay, denied. Who else? Denied? Denied. Who else? Denied? Sure. I'll do it part-time, 50% off. I'll do it. If you can't do it, I will go ahead and deny these criminals, murderers, sexual assaulter from walking among us. To be a free citizen of any world is a privilege. You think it's a right, it's not a right. Because other people live here with you, by the way. So you can't walk around thinking your actions don't stink and your actions don't have consequences. The moment you start thinking about that, in my head, in my little stinking head, you get diminished this much. Because this world it's not about you. It's not about you. And the reason why he feels so emboldened is because every time he went there, he got out. Oh, I'm doing 7 years. All right, I'll just get out. I'll do it again. I just get out. Yeah, he probably was like, okay, I'll just do another 5 years. Yeah. To him, it was nothing. Oh, how many years is that? Another 10? I'm 40. Yeah, I'll be 50. I'll get out and sexual assault some more. Yeah. Can't wait to get my next victim. See how sick that mentality is. Sick. It's sick. It's completely sick. It's sick. No amount of mental health rehabilitation is going to work for this. No. You might not like this statement. I'm going to say it to you anyway. Narcissist people belong in the garbage. Period. There's nothing you can do for them. You take them, you put them over there on their own island, let them fight. And then we have to pay for it. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh. I'm not even taking back. I don't even take it back. You can be mad at me. I don't care. I don't even take it back. This is where, like it's one of the situations where, you know, I'm going to control my demons right now and be properly polite, you know. But this is a situation where I would sue the precinct. I would sue the state. If I was a family and this guy is rich, what? My wife is dead. I'd be like, okay, kids, I'm going to put whatever money is left in the trust. And then, come on, I'll take the picture of my wife. I'll hold her like this. We're going to take down the government. I'm blaming everybody. I'm blaming everyone. I'm going to sue. Yeah, I'm suing everybody. I will be so livid. I'll be so upset. Losing my spouse. You out of your mind. I will be so upset. Upset. The earth will crack open. I will go completely broke suing everybody. I can't talk like that. I have a kid. Okay, depending how old my daughter is. It's so upsetting. So we're wasting all these tax dollars for what? For him to go to jail again? So upsetting. So if you hear the Let's Talk, perfect. That means you must really like me. Very good. I'd like you to press like, subscribe, and if you haven't done so, press like. If you haven't done so, subscribe. I don't get awkward with these. I don't. It's just that I have to forcibly remind myself to say it because it's not natural for me to say it. But it doesn't make me uncomfortable to say it at all. No, not at all. Because it does help, and I need your help. Anyway, all right. No jacket today because I went to see my friend Linda, and I wore the jacket. Long story. You know, if you don't know by now, I have a brain that operates in very specific patterns, and the moment happened. It was in the moment. I had the jacket on me, and I just went in a car and I drove. There's a storm here. I mean, it's less now, but there was a storm. Ophelia is being a total bitch. But so there was a storm here. It was raining and cold outside, and I had the jacket, and I was like, I don't feel like taking it off. I'm already cold. So I went in the car and I went. Thing is that I forgot it there. So she's gonna mail it back to me, and it's gonna get here when it's gonna get here, right? So no blazer. You might ask yourself, don't you have any blazer upstairs? No, it's not that. It's just please, please, everything where it needs to be. And that's all. Anyway, so today I wore this African shirt. Listen, this is I'll tell you a funny story about my African garments, because they are garments. Darling, the African clothes to non-African people, they look like pajamas, but to us, it's the best clothing ever. Listen, so first of all, they're designed to be puffy and big because it's hot. Now we don't have like Africa is not like Asia where it's not humid hot like in Asia. So it's dry hot, but it's hot. So we have breezes, and breezes cool. So when you have a breeze, we have something wafty, you know, like that air goes all the way in, and like it cools you off up here. Anyway, so African clothes are you bored? All right. Well, anyway. Ta-da! What else is new with me? Oh, right. We have a parent-teacher situation on Wednesday. A parent-teacher situation where we at the daycare where they're going to show us what they are teaching Olympia at the daycare. So I look forward to that. More baby stuff. I'm sorry. Look, all my life is right now. It's all about the baby. I don't. What else is going on? I just work and I try to sleep and I take care of my kid and I do some YouTube. I know. I haven't seen other human beings in a while. Now I'm playing, but I don't see other human beings the same way I used to see them. Like, it's quite impressive how different my life is changing so quickly. So quickly. Like, I went to see my friend Linda baby, and I have forgotten how much they sleep. They sleep all day. Oh, well, it'd be nice to get that back. No, what? I was like, wow, so quiet. I have forgotten that they sleep all day. No, the easiest time was the beginning. It's just because you're so sleep deprived and you're so stressed and nervous that you don't really get to be rested. Now that I'm rested, sleeping is not a problem. Now that I'm rested, but she's running everywhere. And she wants entertainment all the time. It's exhausting. You know how much Google Gaga I can do? And I'm like, wah, yeah, oh, yeah. Like, after 6 hours of that, like, I have a newfound respect for single parents or teen moms. Teen moms? What? I'm pregnant. No, you're not. No, you're not. Listen, I could have told you, listen, if people really know the truth, what it takes to have a kid and raise it, people will not have kids. I think society is smart by telling us lies. It's great. Please. I mean, it is great, but it's only great because you're full of hormones that make you believe it's great. It's great. It's the hormones. But you remove those hormones, you go, what the hell is that? I told you, right? Like, loving your kid, it's not love. It's an obsession. Because I wouldn't categorize it as love. I mean, I say I love my daughter and stuff like that, but if you really dissect it and get to the nitty-gritty of it, because it's an unconditional love, but that's not love, because there's no such thing as unconditional love. No, my dears, every love is conditional. Sorry. But for a kid, it's different. It's not love. So if you dissect it further, it comes down to the closest thing I can think of is an obsession. So I'm obsessed with my kid. And that's the only way Mother Nature forces you, because otherwise you would never take care of this crying little human. It's supposed to stress you out. It does, but it makes you so happy. It's so stupid. It's weird. That's why I said it's not love. It's like, you're enchanted. Ooh, it's an enchantment. Wow. I got enchanted. Yeah, it's just so amazing. I even find myself, wait, what else going on? Wait, hold on. Oh yeah, she walks now without help. Honey, she's running everywhere now. Well, she's trying to run, but she's like thump 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 thump. Thump 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 thump. And then she turns around and I'm like, Olympia. She goes, ah! She tries to go really fast. She's like, thump 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 thump. And she's not that fast. I'm like, Olympia, where are you going? And she turns around, thump thump thump. Ah! Thump 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 thump. She's trying to get really fast. I'm like, come on, girl. Whoop! I pick her up. She goes, it's great. She was like laughing with me and then she's screaming and crying and I put her down further away from the stairs because that's where she wants to go. And she goes, like as if nothing happened. It's like, oh, like short-term memory loss. It's like, oh, she's forgotten that she was crying seconds ago. And then we do it over again. Thump, 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 thump. Thump, 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 thump. After 8 times of that, I'm like, oh God. Oh God. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Oh my God. There's no going back now, Alistair. Ha ha. Have fun, have fun. You wanted this, have fun. No, not having fun. I'm complaining, but that's what I mean. It's an obsession. Because if you dissect it, it's like, oh honey, you are a lot of work. But I'm enchanted, so I don't even know. Whoa. Yeah. I move at my own pace. I know sometimes I may seem like I'm not moving fast enough and stuff like that. I am moving at my own pace because there's other things. There's other things. There's other priorities. So I'm moving at my own pace. But I'm here. I'm not gone. Very much here and paying attention. Oh wait, it's a trick. You don't know about that trick? I'm gonna tell you the trick. It's a trick. If you find yourself like in the airport or in a public situation where you cannot help yourself from coughing, look, this is what you do. This is what you do, because people are gonna be like, oh, ew, he's sick. Get away from me. No, this is what you do, because you gotta cough. You gotta cough. You pretend like you're play coughing. Please, people would think you're weird, but at least nobody will run away from you, because then they're like, ah! You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm weird. We're all weird. Whatever. Suck a lemon. We're all weird. You think you're normal? I don't think so. We all weird. Speaking of weird. You know what? That doesn't even scare me. Nothing bothers me unless those 3 things I mentioned to you. But I can handle most things. Speaking of weird, I have a client of mine who confessed something so weird to me. And I was like, wow, I am actually intrigued. I'm not even not interested. I am more interested to know. He collects newspapers. No, wait. Collects newspaper stories. Oh, wait. Classifies them in order of date. Wait. Wait. I'm not done. Oh, honey. He has a special room just for that, by the way. And he hangs them. He frames them. He hangs them on the wall. Like, he owns the house, so he can do whatever he wants. So, dating from 1987. I was 2 years old. Now, I was just so mesmerized at the fact that he does that. So I was asking questions of, his process. Not questions about how do you pick newspaper? What story? What's going on? And so I assume it's a story he likes. He takes it, clips it, frames it. And I was like, that's so weird. I'm not gonna tell you his name. That's so weird. What are you doing? But I was like, how interesting. Yeah, because apparently he likes to go back and read the stories. Because, he enjoys rereading and revisiting and reliving the moment. And he still does it today. Yeah. Now, his room has no more room. So the room in his house has a closet, and he keeps that in the boxes. So the closet has boxes of his newspaper clips that he enjoys very much. Now, between me and you might think, oh my God, that's the murderer, run. That's a weird run. I get it. But he's not a murderer. I don't think he is. Besides, we have a working relationship first and then a friendship second. So he's not at my house like that. So, whatever he does behind closed doors is up to him. Do you know what I mean? But I was just like, huh? And you know what triggered it? One time I had to go to his car to help him with some stuff. And then I saw in the car and I was like, that's a lot of newspapers. You have a lot of newspapers. And then he's like, oh yeah, I collect them. I was like, what? Explain. Everyone is weird. I'm weird too. Please. I am weird as hell. Very weird. We all weird. That's what makes it so beautiful. Because we weird. Can you imagine if everybody was the same? Matter of fact, I know exactly what happens. And when everybody is the same, listen, Mother Nature didn't intend us to be similar. When something is too similar, the gene pool gets murky. So if inbreeding, all that stuff, no, you're supposed to go out there and make babies with somebody else. Okay? That's what nature wants. So you don't want to stay around the same group, otherwise you get problems. Second thing, confirmation bias. The reason why you want to be friends with strangers and go there and have different friends and all that stuff, because otherwise you end up in the echo chamber and then your thinking goes to poop. Echo chamber, confirmation bias. You lose your critical thinking, and your best weapon in life is critical thinking. If you don't have critical thinking, you're in big trouble. No. Yeah, it's a skill. It's not something innate. You have to practice it, because otherwise you lose it. You know, you gotta keep asking questions. Even when someone's like, "Oh, I know this already." No, ask questions. It's like, what do you think? Like, for example, when I was asking Christopher the other day, I was like, so he's so funny. Christopher is so funny. Can I tell you something about my husband? He is actually quite hilarious. He thinks I am a complete riot. He thinks I'm ludicrous. It's funny because he thinks it in a funny way. He always thinks I'm ridiculous, but in a funny way, in a loving, funny way. Yeah. Yeah, he does things that overreact a lot, but it's okay. I do overreact a lot. Matter of fact, I admit that I overreact a lot. I go from 0 to 100 like that. It doesn't take much. It actually takes nothing. I can go to 0 to 100 like now. I just have to think about something. Oh, I get very angry and go there. So he thinks I'm like, wow, you're ridiculous, Alistair. Like, I know I am. Which is why he's there. He's there to be the balance. Be like, Alistair, calm down. Oh, okay. All right, fine. I'm overreacting again. He's like, yeah, okay, fine. But to certain limits, though. Because there's certain lines where I'm like, to hell with you, Chris. You have several seats. I handle this. There's certain lines where he can't do shit. You know? But most of the time, he wrangles me in. Yeah. What's that point again of the story? Oh, right. So I was telling... I was asking a question. I was like, so... Christopher, what do you think of because France has been very hot over there in France, and they are planning to expect 50 degrees Celsius, that's 120 degrees Fahrenheit for next year. And I was like, so Christopher, isn't that crazy? Like, the weather is really crazy out there. So like, what do you think of France like trying to put measures to try to curb 50 degrees Celsius? Chris, of course, is working. He's like, what? He says it, in a such a loving, disrespectful way. He's like, what? And I was like, I'm sitting there like, I'm talking to you. He's like, no, I know. What did you say? And I'm like, France is saying it's too hot, and they're going to have to find a solution. What do you think? And he goes, well, then it's too hot. It's great. And I'm sitting there like, but what do you think? Well, if France think it's hot, then I think it's hot. Oh my God. It sends me through. I'm like, Christopher. He's like, what? It makes the weirdest face. I'm like, but what do you think about France making the changes to help, with the heat? Is like, I think it's great. Sitting there like, never mind. Yeah. Of course, we're laughing when we're saying that. So it's not even a fight. It's a comic show. It's a comical show. And then he's like, okay, also I gotta work. I was like, okay, fine, bye. It's funny. It's funny. I have the best time ever with my family. Let me tell you something. I'm the luckiest man ever. I don't even know how I got this. So lucky. I'm so lucky. I remember when I first met him. He was, Christopher was so polite. I have never met anybody as polite as him. So polite. I think I told you how we met, right? So I was late for work. I bumped into him in the subway. I apologized, and I went to work. I worked a full day. And at nighttime, he walked into my place of work, and I recognized him. And I was like, oh, I get free drinks here. Let me buy you a drink. And then the conversation was great. And then we stayed there all night. Of course, he was enjoying the free drinks, darling, and I wasn't. I was enjoying the free drinks too. So we were drunk as hell. But the conversation was so good, and he was really funny. We life so polite, like a gentleman, so considerate. We met when we were very young. I was like, for 20 something, you're very, very gentlemanly. I love that. I was like, what do you mean? With his big nose. Oh, that strong Italian nose. Yeah. And just green eyes. Being stupid. Oh, that was great. I'll never forget that day. It wasn't even the first day. I remember I went home because, gotta go. I was in the subway and I was smitten. I was like, oh my God, smitten about how nice he was. Nice. I mean, Christopher's a very good looking man. Get out of here. My husband is extremely good looking. I'll show you a picture on the editing. No, but like his personality and attitude. Oh, so nice. Yeah. Look at me daydreaming. I got work to do. I'm sitting here daydreaming. I have your mind, Alistair. You're going to sit here for how long? You know what your day looks like? Your day looks like a lot of work. You better stop this camera and go back to work. No, I mean work as in my to-do list. Everything is scheduled for the hour before the baby gets here. Because when the baby gets here, my day is over. Because she wants to do stuff and be entertained. There's no time to do anything. So, goodbye. I'll see you next time. There's no live this week. I have to go and hang out with my sister, my real sister, and my real sister and her kids and my niece and nephews. And I haven't seen them in 4 months. I need to go and see them, feel them, touch them, say hi to them, laugh with them. Yeah, I need to go and see. Yeah, of course. They're my babies. Anyway, goodbye.